The year was 2135. Earth was overpopulated, resources were depleting, and Mars had become humanity's last hope. After decades of terraforming and scientific development, the first permanent Mars colony, New Dawn, had been established. It was a bustling settlement, a mix of scientists, engineers, and explorers, all eager to conquer the red planet's mysteries. The air was breathable, crops were growing, and there was even a small, man-made lake. Life on Mars was tough, but it was working, or so everyone thought. It all began with a message, a desperate transmission from one of the outer science labs, 50 kilometers from the main colony. "Help! Something's not right. Blood everywhere," said the garbled voice before the transmission cut off. Panic spread through New Dawn. A rescue team was quickly assembled, led by Captain Serena Hale, a former Earth Marine, and Dr. Elias Porter, a leading Martian geologist. The rescue team journeyed across the Martian desert in armored rovers. Dust storms lashed at the vehicles, reducing visibility to nearly zero, but Serena was determined. The voice on the transmission belonged to Dr. Amir, one of the brightest minds in the colony. If he was in trouble, it meant something serious had happened. As they arrived at the outer lab, the team found the building eerily quiet. The airlock was ajar, a red warning light blinking. Inside, the walls were smeared with blood. Equipment was smattered, and the lab's main console was smashed. There were no bodies, just traces of a violent struggle. But the most unsettling thing was the message, written in shaky letters on the floor. "Stay away from the caves." "What caves?" Serena asked, confused. The maps of the surrounding area were clear. There were no known caves nearby. Dr. Porter scanned the room, noting an open hatch that led to the underground storage facility. As they descended, the smell hit them first, a rancid metallic stench that made everyone gag. The storage room was a mess of broken equipment and shattered containers. But one thing caught their eye, a strange, pulsing red rock, unlike anything found on Mars before. "It's emitting some kind of low-frequency sound," Dr. Porter said, puzzled as he inspected the rock. "It's the most. I've never seen anything like it." Suddenly, a faint noise echoed through the storage area, a dragging, scraping sound. The team froze, weapons drawn. They moved towards the noise, light slicing through the shadows, only to find a body, barely alive. It was Dr. Amir, his eyes wide with terror. "They're awake! We woke them!" he gasped before falling unconscious. The team rushed him back to New Dawn, where the colony's medics tried everything, but Amir never woke up. The strange red rock, however, was carefully brought to the colony's lab for analysis. Dr. Porter couldn't let it go. He began to study it day and night, convinced that it held the key to what happened at the lab. Meanwhile, strange things started happening in the colony. People reported hearing whispers in the night, seeing shadows that didn't belong, and feeling an inexplicable sense of dread. Serena tried to keep order, but the fear was spreading. Then, the power went out. New Dawn was plunged into darkness, the only light coming from the emergency lamps scattered around the colony. Communication with Earth was cut off. Serena gathered the remaining leadership in the command center, demanding answers. Dr. Porter, disheveled and anxious, interrupted the meeting. "I found it," he said, almost manic. "The rock! It's not just a mineral. 'Tis alive. It responds to sound, to light, to emotions."
Serena looked at him in disbelief.
"What are you talking about, Elias?" Dr. Porter explained that the rock contained microbial life, ancient and dormant. But when the lab's team started experimenting with vibrations and electromagnetic fields, they unknowingly woke something up. He played back a recording from his latest experiment, a low, pulsing hum that grew louder and louder. Suddenly, the command center's doors slammed shut, trapping them inside. "What's going on?" someone shouted, panic rising. The emergency alarms blared, and then the lights cut out entirely. In the pitch black, they heard it, the faint hum, growing louder, almost like a chant. Serena forced the door open, leading the group back into the corridors of New Dawn. But the colony felt different now. Cold, hostile, and filled with that same whispering echo. They split into groups to search for survivors, but one by one, people started disappearing. Serena's group stumbled upon an old, forgotten part of the colony, an area built during the early stages of terraforming. It was there they found the caves, not natural formations, but massive underground tunnels, long buried under layers of Martian dust. Serena realized they were standing on a labyrinth of alien structures, hidden beneath the surface. Deep inside the tunnels, they found the missing colonists. They were standing in circles, staring blankly at the walls, muttering in a language that wasn't their own. In the center of the chamber was a giant version of the red rock, glowing with an unsettling light, and at its base, Dr. Porter holding another, smaller rock, his face twisted with an unnatural smile. "You don't understand," he said, his voice blending with the low hum that filled the chamber. "They're not hostile. They're trying to guide us, to show us what's possible." "Let them go, Elias," Serena demanded, but he ignored her, pressing the smaller rock against the wall. The entire cavern shook, and a bright light erupted from the walls, revealing intricate carvings, symbols, and pictures of an advanced civilization. "These tunnels, they're a map," Porter muttered. "A map of the entire planet and beyond." The hum grew deafening, the colonists chanting louder. Serena grabbed Dr. Porter, pulling him away from the rock. He screamed as if in agony, but the trance was broken. The colonists collapsed unconscious. The rock's glow faded, and the humming stopped. In the weeks that followed, New Dawn slowly returned to normal. Dr. Porter was quarantined, muttering about ancient knowledge and unseen entities. The colonists had no memory of what happened, and the council decided to seal off the tunnels for good. They destroyed the rocks, every trace of them, hoping to bury the incident forever. But Serena knew something still lingered. At night, she would catch a glimpse of shadows shifting on the horizon, hear faint whispers carried by the Martian wind. And then there were the blood-red flowers, small, delicate blossoms that began to appear all over New Dawn, plant species that no one had planted. She didn't tell anyone about the note she found in her quarters a week after the incident, written in Dr. Amir's shaky handwriting. "The blood is still awake." Serena kept the note to herself, unsure of what it meant. But every time she looked at the crimson flowers, she felt it, a presence, watching, waiting, just beneath the Martian soil. And she knew the truth. Mars was not theirs. It never had been. It was only waiting to be discovered, to be remembered. One day, humanity would understand the message they had awakened. A message written in the blood of the red planet itself.